So, video number 3. This is going to be on the AI bubble and some of the repercussions of this big, big prospect we call AI. Uh, it's hard to say that there's no positives initially. I'm going to be focusing on a lot of negatives because the negatives are really bad. So, we're going to get some of the positives out of the way. Um, we thought with Google that knowledge was closer than ever before, and then we got AI, which does all the hard work of Googling and information gathering. It just takes it away. So humans have this innate ability now to become hyper intelligent, but without having any critical thought. And what I mean by that is you have all the knowledge in the world, and before it was at your fingertips, now it's in your palm. Okay, like we went from fucking cusping it, from cusping it to grabbing on it. You know what I'm saying? And this matters because you would think that this excess of knowledge and information that we have makes us better or more smarter people. But realistically, it's taking the critical thought out of everyday life. So people are essentially Googling literally everything. I mean, there's people who use it to have conversations. And when you start taking away critical thought or any thought, right? I mean, let's just take it down to its baseline. It is just thought in general is gone. When you take that away, people actually become more dumb. And sure, they have all this information in front of them, but it's impossible to retain because they're not actually thinking about the information they're being given, right? You have to think about the things that you're being told. That's why when you have a conversation with someone, you can have a profound impact on their opinion, and they could have one on yours, and you might retain the conversation. But with AI, you tend to forget a lot of the stuff you talk about, or maybe you're studying for. You use it as a study guide, and God forbid you cheat with it, you know. And it completely takes away from your ability to retain knowledge. It actually lowers your brain's actual capacity to take in knowledge and regurgitate it, which is harmful, with a lack of better words, to human psychology as a whole, causing an even worse mental health crisis. So, that's my only real positive. I know I talked about the negatives there a little bit, but the only real positive is that knowledge and lack of knowing things is gone. I mean, you'll never not know something anymore. That's a positive, unironically. So now we're gonna get into, I think, critical thought. I think critical thought is where we're gonna go, and because I was already talking about it, but so critical thought is the ability to think about things from an outside lens. It's almost like out of the box thinking. Like I don't know, that color's tan, right? It's tan, but it could be brown, right? That's critical thought in a nutshell. Using logical deduction to form opinions and trying to make the most out of the information you have. And when you take that away from people, they start being unable to think for themselves as a whole, because literally every thought you have is a yes or no. It doesn't seem like it because opinions are nuanced, which is correct. But every decision you make is a yes or no. If you decide to pick up your coffee, you had to logically think, I am going to move my arm, put my hand on it, and pick it up. kind of like a computer program in that sense, where your brain is moving very fast and it knows what you want it to do, but it's essentially just a working computer of yeses and nos. Uh, do I want to stick my finger up? Yes, there you go. Now the finger's up. No, and now it's down. You have to be able to make those yeses and nos, though. You need to be able to do it. And without critical thought, you can't make yeses or nos out of anything because everything's gray. There is no black or white or ones and zeros or on and off. It's just nothing until you're told the information. And this is particularly harmful for people. And I think that a lot of the issues that we're having that I've talked about in prior videos are being exacerbated by this lack of critical thought. And furthermore, I think what it's doing to the job market is obscene, right? So I just graduated from computer information systems. I started in a comp sci program, so I have all the credentials of being a computer scientist over than just computer information systems major, but it doesn't show on my bachelor's because I just switched schools, which means I went to a different program. But I could be accredited as a computer scientist had I stayed with that program. And it used to be you get a job in my field immediately after college, and they paid you real good for it. Maybe not even initially you get paid like really good, but you'd get enough to get your feet wet, and then after you got your feet wet, you'd move up, and you'd move up quickly. And all the skills you'd garner would essentially fast track the rest of your life. You would be set, maybe not making millions, but a couple $100,000 a year is completely reasonable. Not even just doable, but reasonable. However, right now, new grads are coming out in the tech space rapidly. And things like data science, they're coming out very rapidly. And basically all of this office work is being automated by AI, which is, it's choking, pause, I know everyone saw that, but it's choking the the job market as a whole, because people are being laid off at astronomical numbers, even though most companies are seeing record breaking profit. And it's because automation will always save more money than paying a human being. And you now have all these experienced people coming into a job market filled with a bunch of new grads, right? Because the new grads were promised, if they kept their head down, they got through this awful, awful major, that it would pay off in the end. And they're all competing for entry-level spots because all the senior roles are being filled because everyone's scared about coming back to this. So all the senior roles, they're currently filled. There's nothing open. And everything under it is opening and closing at a rapid pace. So job A, currently open, it closes, then it reopens the next day trying to get someone for cheaper. And this is all mostly due to AI and its grip around the throat of the job market. And I think it's causing people to have a very steady decline in mental health because new grads literally can't find a job, and they're no longer going to school, right? They need to go out into the real world. They have to be productive members of society, and they just can't do it anymore because there's no job opportunity for them. And it's not just computer science, or in tech, it's data science, data analytics. Fucking most of your sciences now don't even need an excess of scientists, because a lot of science and math is able to be automated. You just need someone to be able to observe what's being done by the computer, and it's causing undue hardship on normal people like you and I. And that's already exacerbated by the fact that everything's so fucking overpriced, because I guess no one gives a fuck about us. And it's really hard to say something like that. And it's just true, though. No one gives a fuck about us, dude. Like, especially us, the younger generation. I'm 28, so I'm technically part of Gen Z, I guess. But my generation and lower, no one gives a fuck about us, dude. Everyone pulled the ladder up behind them. And once they pulled the ladder up, they got this AI tool and they were like, you know what? You don't get the ladder, nor do you get any food or water. You can just sit down there and die. And I got very lucky with finding a job that's adjacent to the field. So I'm not really in IT, not really in a trade. I'm in a hybrid of the two, which I was a mechanic before going to college. So it's a good bridge for me. It's where I want to be. It's up my alley. But people aren't going to get lucky like I did because they don't have the prior skill that I had. And that's not good. People are going to be destitute. People are going to have places to live. Homelessness is on the rise. I think people are defaulting on debt at like 6 times what it was during the Great Depression, maybe seven. We're really having a rough time, and it's actually all due to AI almost. Like, sure, politics matters. The president and his fucking antics overseas, they matter, but lack of jobs is not the president's fault. No matter what anyone tries to tell you, it's like the president can affect jobs, but he doesn't really. It's like presidents really don't have that much power. They're basically just middlemen for the other two parts of the government. He doesn't create or lose jobs. He just has policy. And the lack of jobs comes from automation of low skill jobs, and you need low skill jobs in order to get high skill jobs because low skill jobs give you the skills to get the higher skill jobs, but no one's leaving the high skill jobs because the job market on the lower skill jobs is so impossible to break into now. And all the low skill jobs now want you to have 5 fucking years of experience at for $15 an hour in the tech space that you already need a degree for. So you have to have a degree. You have a degree. You got to have your A plus cert, even though your degree far outweighs the A plus cert, and you gotta have your network plus, even though your degree is probably way better than the network plus. And then on top of it, you gotta have 6 years experience in this piece of software that's only been out for 3. You know, you gotta have 6 years experience in this piece of software that's only been out for 3 years. And it's all nuts. It's all due to AI. And the last thing I want to talk about are the data centers because what the fuck, man? Like, why is they're trying to put one in near me. I live in Buffalo, New York. There's a data center being talked about in Tonawanda, New York. And because of Kathy Hochul, no matter how you feel politically, I try not, I have my political takes every once in a while on the videos, but I'm trying not to make everything political. But she has astronomically raised our utility prices, and she is the sole cause of it. So we're already paying a lot for both electric and gas, and I mean double what we were paying a year ago, and then double. I guess if it's double from last year, that'd be 100%, and it's double from then. So we're at like 200% from 2 years ago, and I don't know. I don't think that math is right, but everything's already impossible to afford. Now they want to put in a data center that's just going to pollute our water and make our electric bill go up because for some reason we have to foot the bill for data centers. I don't really understand that, It's like data centers are actually very profitable, right? Because they take your information, they take my information, and they sell it to China so that China can fucking advertise sex to us and make us docile retards. And tell us how good lust and fucking big boobies are, but they don't tell you about the effects it has on your brain not being able to get away from sex culture and gooning as a whole. So that's what data centers do. They feed foreign entities to come in and ruin our mental health. Uh, and we foot the bill for it. We pay for it. We pay them to make us worse. It's fucked. I had that original video. I'd say everything's fucked because everything is fucked. We're literally paying people to make our lives worse. Which then in turn creates foreign entities that also make our life worse. And we're also paying for this AI that inevitably will make our lives worse. I mean, it could very minute chance it comes out that it ends up making our lives better. But out of the 12 running theories, only one of them is positive. So 1 in 12 is like 11% chance that something good comes out of AI. It's just, I don't know, man. AI as a whole is destroying not just mental health, but it's gonna destroy our economy as a whole. People already can't afford life. They can't afford they can't afford a vehicle. They can't afford a house, and now jobs are making you pay to apply to them. Like that's nuts. Everything's a subscription, and AI will just continue to exacerbate all of the problems. And there's plenty of reports of AI uh, taking people's already poor mental health and giving them illusions of grandeur, actually driving them to madness because it feeds their delusion because it can't actually understand that what you're saying is mentally unhealthy. It just predictively tells you things to keep you on the app, which is hella dangerous. I mean, it's acting as people's psychologist now, and that's crazy because an AI doesn't actually understand nuance. Like it's all ones and zeros. So it doesn't act. It seems like because it tells you it's thinking. It seems like it actually does understand nuance, and it might understand important decisions, but it doesn't because all it knows is ones and zeros. All it knows is yes and no. It's not quantum computing. Okay, it can't understand like a brain does the effects of decisions and how they'll affect other decisions. So it giving you all of your psych help is dangerous and exacerbates the problem. You notice how I keep using the word exacerbate? Repetition of a word doesn't usually help the person consuming whatever the media is, but there is no better word than exacerbate for what is going on with AI because it exacerbates every problem society is having and it makes it tenfold every single time. Um, that's all I gotta say on it. Another rant by Noble. Have a good day.